In the previous episode, we said goodbye to the farming area and to the comfort of dry land on an epic sea adventure to find ourselves the new location of our next industrial area, where we conquered an ocean monument and built this floating barge base, which has space for workshops, llamas for llama pot pie, and all the delicious vegetables we need to make that pie really, really good. But in today's episode, we're going to be expanding the barge town and starting our first little farms. But before we can do that, we need another barge and a notice board so we can do some planning in regards to all the farms we need. So instead of building a bulletin board just on one of the barges, I was thinking maybe we can utilize one of these little buildings that we built in the previous episode. And I was thinking this one for the boat, the actual ship that comes from spawn will come over and dock over here. And then people can get off, they can go up, and this can be like the little welcome tourist center type thing. So the idea is that I might add a little desk, do a bit of decoration, but this back wall can work perfect for the board that will show the different projects. And for us, it will be the projects, but for the tourists, it will just be a board with all the activities in the area. So the first one in the area, we're going to plonk a sign down here, and we're going to say Guardian Farm, and this farm will give us free items. So if we do it like this, we'll get prismarine crystals, we'll get prismarine shard, and we'll get raw cod. Those are the three items we will be getting from the Guardian Farm, and in turn we will be using those to create prismarine bricks, prismarine, and sea lanterns. The raw cod we will use, but not for this farm. So this will be farm number one, and this will be the primary reason why we're in the ocean. But we will not be building this farm first. No. And the second farm we're going to do is right over here. We're going to say quartz and glow stone. And let's just add a little arrow for it pointing this way. So I know quartz and glowstone in an ocean-based industrial farm. You see, with this Guardian Farm, we will be getting a bunch of prismarine crystals. And if we were to crush these prismarine crystals, we will get these two items. So indirectly, by having a Guardian Farm, we can get prismarine crystals, and we can send that through a process that gives us these two items. So that way we're automating nether quartz and glowstone, which again, I know it's not the traditional way of doing it for Create, but it's a fun way, and I'm quite excited about getting this farm up and running as well. I also want to use this farm and create a food shack. So we don't need any more food for us because we have the whole cooking area in the farming area, but we might as well turn the raw cod into cooked cod, and that way we have fish as well, and we can do maybe a little fun build where we sell the fish or whatever. How I'm going to do this, I'm not really sure. We can just go for cooked cod from the get-go, or we can process the raw cod via the Farmer's Delight mod, and we can get bone meal as well, which might help with another project in this area. But for now, let's not get into too much detail. I would then like to add a pickle farm to the area. And the pickle farm itself will then be used to create sea pickles. But then again, the sea pickles can be crushed, and that will give us lime dye and some normal green dye. This little process, this little part down here might also only be an add-on because we already have dyes and I don't use those two colors too often. So this could be a phase 2 to the farm up there. But this is a possibility that we might be able to do as well. And then last farm on this area is the whole kelp farm. And a kelp farm will have 3 steps. We'll have the actual kelp farm, we will have the dried kelp production line, and we will be storing both of those. And then after that, we will even have the dried kelp being turned into mechanical belts. So I think these might be the major farms in this area. I might add 1 or 2 more. I might not do certain parts, but this should serve as quite a nice little place to see all the farms and to tick them off, maybe dye the signs a different color once we complete any of these farms. And I will decorate this area to make it look a bit more like a tourist hotspot real soon. So I literally just turned off the previous recording I did of me talking about the whole tourist shop, and I noticed this. I noticed this and all of these blocks drifting in water, and I'm not sure if there's maybe a particular mob in the Alex's Modpack that can actually destroy stuff. I mean, I don't know. I did do a little sneaky peek underwater using shaders because it clears up the water, but there's absolutely nothing in the area. So this is a little bit alarming, and now I'm worried that I'm going to have to spend more time repairing this place than actually expanding. So I'm going to repair this, and while I do that, let's do a really quick build montage of just us placing another barge using the schematic cannon. And we've got it. We've got a new platform over there, but this platform is relatively far from this one. And I have a jetpack and I can easily make the trip over, but I need to think of future guests that will come and visit this area, and I need to make some form of bridge or transportation from that side to this side. And I want to use something that I have not used in a while. And before we can do that, I need to rip out these two piles and we will replace them. And I need to do a few bits down below. So, okay, this area's been cleaned up. And what I've done is I've just went down here. I cleared out the water in here because we're going to use this to hide our power supply. But if we head on up over and over to this side, then we're going to take our weighted ejector and tell it that we want to... No, take two. We're going to tell it we want to come and land on this spot over here, and we wanted to shoot us all the way from over here. So that should be it for the weighted ejector. So now we have one going from this side to this side, and now we just quickly need to repeat what we have over there, over here. So I'm going to clear out this area while the sun sets, and as the sun rises, we'll continue on this little contraption. So okay, I added the little stone border, and I added a little bit up here, and the reason for that is if I place down the water, it will just go down in a single column, and it will not spill all over. And then also I switched this over to 128 RPM, so if we do this, this should run, and it should go. And if we go up here, we can just place down one of these bad boys. And if we just go up like this and do that, it's primed. It's already primed because I did test it. I had to make sure because something... Okay. I didn't test it. I built the whole thing, did the whole recording, only to find out that I paused the recording. So I had to rip it out and do it again. Because I'm an idiot. So that's why it's already primed, and if we hop on over, we can see it works, and we can also see that it really goes back quite fast. So I do believe 128 RPM, whoops, is fast enough. Let's see. Yeah, see, it's primed already. So I think that will do, and now all we need to do is take that whole contraption, repeat it in here, and then we have a way of going to and from these two barges, which I think is a fun little way to do this. So let me get this one built. And now we have this one on this side primed as well, so we can easily go from the one side to the other side, which I think is quite a neat little way of traveling in this area. And I might add a few more all over. And all I want to do now is I just want to put down moss over there, and we'll add some more moss, but it just hides that little block, and it even hides it on the side, thus making it all look pretty neat in general. So I do think that this is a win for this area, and it's quite a fun little way. But I also want to bring you over to this side because I did this off camera. I was just in a building mood, and I added this little kiosk, I almost want to say. So we've got this little kiosk, and it looks like all the activities you can do in the area, but generally it's just the bulletin board for everything we need to do in the farm. We've got some storage up there. We've got these little mats on the floors, and over here we even have a little boat with a chest as an extra thing that you can purchase. We've got a painting, and I just generally like this area, and I think this one I'm gonna change into like a sleeping area, so we'll have like bunk beds or hammocks or stuff just hanging around and just tying all of this together. So we've got that done, we've got this done, and I think I need to just sort out my inventory, get a few more things ready, and then we can build the first farm in this area. Okay, so I've got a few blocks here, and I think we should just mark out where the next build exactly is going to go. So we come over this way and we land right about here. And I am tempted to make the building this size so we have enough space to move around, and not just that, we also have storage, so I think that's fine. And even if we land here, we're on the building, but I want it to be open, so I want a lot of those open airy type of builds. So even if you land here and it's close to this, you can walk straight through. And with that said, I think we should keep this corner completely open. So if we have 1 2 3, so we have 3 like that. So this will also be open, but this will be a general walkway, leaving this area and that area for the initial crafting of items. And because we're doing kelp, we don't have to do a lot, so we can also maybe pick up on this line and have this open with some detail and stuff on this side. So what we need to do is, first of all, we're going to have an input, which I want to put like this. So we have our input, and then we'll have belts running along here, and these belts will technically then turn the kelp into the dried kelp. And from there, we're going to have a secondary input, and this area is where we're going to have our mechanical crafter. And I think if we do 3, maybe 5 blocks, just to give it enough space, and then we'll have our final input. So this will be the only processing part for the dried kelp. So we'll have the kelp farms, and the kelp farms, I've got an idea for something in this area. I need to refine it a bit more in creative. But then from there, the items will come onto this barge, and from this barge, it will have a general storage. And I think I will do general storage maybe over here somewhere, because we also need to think about powers. So I will do some power in this area, and I think we're going to go for windmills again, maybe over there. Then we have a storage area, and it will be a temporary little storage because I do want to do a central storage once we tackle this build. But then we'll have our temporary little storage over here. So, and then from the temporary storage, we can take items into this processing area where we cook the kelp into dried kelp, and the dried kelp into belts. And then we'll have the 3 storage drawers for the different types of kelp. So we'll have kelp, dried kelp, and belts. And like I mentioned, that will be temporary. So what I think is we need to gather all the items to build these things, and then, yeah, just get building. So I've got some resources, and I think we need to start planning this with the actual parts in place. So like mentioned, we've got the input over here, and we're just going to put this down there. So we will have a chest, but this will be a drawer slave. I'm kind of into now, after I mentioned we'll do the storage area over here, I'm not sure, because I don't really like the whole, do I have them? Yeah, I don't really like this texture. I don't like it. I don't want to use it. So what I'm thinking is maybe instead of those, have the actual storage right in here. So we'll have the 3 different phases of this production line set up like this. So then you can come in, you can grab kelp if you need kelp, you can have dried kelp if you need dried kelp, and you can grab belts if you need belts, which I think will be a better solution, and it will just look a little bit better. And with that said, I think we need to maybe move this over one like so, and then we can rip this out. So we'll have the storage in this general area, and that should work perfectly. A second thing is I'm going to move, I just ripped this out, but I'm going to move it all back one. So it's actually flushed against the back wall. And the reason for that being, we are going to use campfires to cook the kelp, and we can put them overhead. So we don't have to have space at the back for the campfires to blow forward. And that way we also won't need a little safety rail in place either. So I think that will do. And then from here, we can rip all of this out. We can do our belts going from there to there, and this will be the actual cooking area. So this is where we will be using the campfires to cook up everything, and the campfires will go on this level over here. And then on this side, I don't know if we can pull from this into the mechanical crafter. So I think we're going to need at least 2 belts like so. That will leave us 3 like that, and then we can do our mechanical crafters like so. And I do believe if we take the wrench and we do this, it will tell it that all the materials are exactly the same. So now we can take from there, process, put it into here, take from here, put it into there, and have the final item over here. So I do understand it's going to be a backlog system. So it's first going to fill up this barrel drawer before it goes to the next one, before it goes to the next one. So I don't have a problem with it because I mainly use the belts. I don't use the other stuff. So that should be it for the logistics of it. As for taking items out, I do believe we're going to do this over here because we want to be able to take out a set amount, and I'm going to work on 16s. And on this side, we can have a normal andesite funnel going in because that's not going to be too much of a hassle. Then over here, I think we should take out stacks of 6 at a time. I'm not really certain about that one. I will look into that. And then we can just do that. That should work. And then this automatically will output into this one. So that should be it for the funnels. And then on top of these, we can just do campfires like so. Yeah, that's good. And on top of the campfires, we can just hover, shift, and click. And that way we have our camp of encased fans facing down. And now we just need to power it. We just need to power that. We need to power the belts and power the mechanical crafters. I forgot the word. And all of that should work. All of that should be fine. I need to connect this up to the input, which I'm not really sure what I'm going to do yet. So what I'm going to do off camera is just fix up the belts, make all of this look a little bit better, put on the filters, and by filters I mean what goes into the drawers, and then we'll be right back. So we currently have all of this built, and I did do a little bit of decoration. We do still need the build around it, which is not a problem. I will get around to that. But I thought before I do that, maybe we should look at the farm itself. And over here you can see I do have a threshold switch and all of the necessary redstone links that I'm going to have to use on the farm itself. And I was thinking that this should be the input. So items are going to fall on here, and that's going to go into the system. And again, I'm thinking we started using those. So why not use them over here as well? Because for this farm, I was thinking that let's just go in down here. I don't know if it's going to show. It's pretty dark. Come on, light up. But anyway, it's deep. You can see it's pretty deep. The kelp is only down there. So my idea is to maybe do a farm that is floating somehow in this area. And I say somehow, but I already know what it's going to look like because I've been designing it in creative and I am so excited. So I think we should just jump right into it. So sit back and enjoy as we do a super montage of the farm being built. And we've managed to finish the kelp farm, and I do think it looks really cool in this area. I love the whole idea of these separate growing bins floating in the water, but to appreciate them to their max, we need to go see them underwater, and to do that, we need to turn on shaders. So just with shaders on, this already looks epic, and if we head on down underwater, we have these bins with these copper, I almost want to call them floating buoys, just keeping them up, and it looks really, really cool. From the side, we have some windows you can see in. This one I've planted kelp, this one I have not because, oxygen, because I currently only had one piece of kelp to my name, and as you guys can see, I drowned quite quick, so I did not want to risk it going down there. But then also, we already have the little harvesters in place, and it's actually just ready to go. So the only thing we need to do is we need to run up here and add some water on these wheels. And that should start getting everything ready. Over here, we've got the storage. So all the kelp will end up over here before it goes on to this weighted ejector that will dispatch 32 pieces at a time to that little factory over there. But for now, we've got the funnel facing into storage because we first want to see if we can get some items going. Oh, and it's already harvested. Okay, so it's going the wrong way. That's the first problem. So we need to fix that. And this one is... So this one's going the right way. It's just this one that's going the wrong way. So I'm quickly going to fix this. And then we'll see what it looks like when it's done. Okay, so I have it fixed now and it should be turning the right way. I'm a little bit concerned because it's actually not picking up the kelp. It's just breaking them and that's floating to the surface. Okay, so it is saws. If you use saws, they will pick up the items. There we can see the kelps in there. So I replaced this one with saws and the other one, and we already made enough to fill up the second barrel, which is great. So now this thing's working, and if we do flip this, I do believe items will go flying, which is perfect. And we can actually keep them over here because then they'll just start to stack up over here because this is not hooked up yet because I still need to do power and the build over this area as well. But I'm excited. I'm excited. The farm's working and we finally have kelp growing, which I know I think it should have been one of the earlier farms, but I was just so determined to have it in a water industrial area. So this is cool. Okay, now I'm excited. So I'm going to get a few things ready and see if I can build the build. I don't know if I'm going to do it in another montage or if I'm just going to bring you guys back as I build it, but I'll see you when I get back. And a rainbow. So I've opted for doing a little time lapse and a little montage, whatever, and we've got everything in here, and I did do a bit of decorating off camera. There's no trees and stuff over here because I think I still want to maybe add a few more barges that will act like dedicated growing areas. But anyway, so this is the build. Let's just zoosh out here. So it's based roughly on the same design as those, with the exception of we having this little lean-to or this little extension, and then also we've got a lot of, I want to call them curtains, but banners all over, and that's the general idea. So I think this will be the style for this area, and the builds will all be a variation of this or this, and it works really cool. We've got like little hanging pots with little plants in them. We've got some storage at the back, and inside we have all of this snug in here, and I think it actually looks really, really nice. I see there's something we've missed. Do we have a block? No, we don't. Okay, but it's fine. So I have not tested this, so maybe if we flick this, let's see. That goes. This goes. We can't really see with all the particles. Okay, it turns into cooked kelp really, really quick. So I wonder if we can increase this maybe, just like slightly, like to 20. And then that goes in there. Okay, so this one is not connected. Why are you not connected? Oh, we don't have a cog there. Okay, that's my fault, baby cog. And then we can just do this over there. Casing. And we're making belts. Okay, so, and the 20 seems to work perfectly. It turns right about there. I can maybe increase it a little bit more. I don't know if it's wise. Let's do 22. But yeah, it's working. It's totally working. That's still one of the 20s. Yeah, it seems like 22 is also a good number. Okay, cool. So we're going to keep it on 22. We've already got 243. The only downside is it only gives you 1 belt per 6 dried kelp. But yeah, this is really cool. I really like the build. I really like the addition. And I like the way we're transporting stuff. I like how that part of the farms come together and how we send items from there to over here. I really do like it. I know this is, again, most probably not the most efficient, but I just like these type of builds. I just like having contraptions that function, and I know they'll never grow all the way to the top of the bin, but it beats it being a shallow little design. But anyway, I do think all of this looks really, really awesome. And I'm eager to get some more trees and stuff in here. Maybe get some reinforced barges with some bigger trees and everything. And then later on having the airship fly through here and park over there, or land, not park, I don't know. But yeah, this is such a cool build. But I do think this whole area is coming together quite nice, and I have to admit, I think my favorite part is the actual kelp farm and the 2 bins. It just looks so cool floating in the ocean and all the moving bits and so forth. But let me know down in the comments, do you like the kelp shop itself, or do you like the kelp farm over here? And then also remember, like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, and I'll see you in the next video, because sadly, we've run out of time. Till next one, bye for now.